Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all those crazy things that, man, I seem to keep stepping on. We are on episode number 249. Gosh, we're so close to 250. I'm really excited today to talk to you about growing your voiceover business through a method that I don't see done very often. And I know I've had a lot of success, and I was speaking to one of my students this morning, and we were talking about this, and I thought it would be a great thing to share with you on the marketing side and helping you get some more voiceover business. All right, let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
All right. Well, it is so good to be back and doing another podcast. I'm trying to think. It looks like the last podcast was about a month ago. So I'm glad that I'm back doing another podcast. A lot's happened in a month, but I'm thrilled to be coming to you and speaking with on this topic. By the way, recently we had a wonderful webinar with Pat Fraley. Who I'm sure you know who that is, but if you don't, just a legend in so many different fields in voiceover, from audiobooks to video game characters, as well as a live stage actor too. I mean, just incredible guy, so knowledgeable. And we had a webinar this past weekend where he talked about acting and video game characters particularly, but acting in general, and it just was phenomenal. But anyways, and we're going to be doing a lot more of those types of webinars and things, as well as, the advanced voice acting class now that I'm teaching at the Academy on Wednesdays. And by the way, if you are looking this holiday season or going into the new year of jumpstarting your business and getting it going, check out a VO's Journey Elite Academy. As always, there'll be a link below. But let's dive back into this topic today, which kind of sums up everything that has been going on, especially around us and in the world. But we're talking about getting voiceover business, and something that I don't see a lot of people doing, and not out of unable to do it or unwillingness, just out of not, I think, making it a staple of their business. So anyways, I was working with one of my mentor students earlier today, and we were talking about different methods of contacting potential clients, as well as working in the confines of platforms that we have to either send, proposals, or, we're doing auditioning, and we also have to write, something to the client on top of including our audition or proposal. And of course, we brought up LinkedIn and a bunch of different things. But what I want to talk to you today about is how you are actually writing copy to potential clients. So what I mean by that is, when you submit an audition, or when you submit a proposal, like for example on Upwork, or auditions on Voices, or anything like that, any audition anywhere, doesn't matter where it is, you also send a little bit of copy. You write something like, thank you so much for the opportunity. I can deliver this in 24 to 48 hours if needed. Blah blah blah. Like you send something as a description of what you can do and the parameters and and so forth. Well, what so many of us are forgetting. And it's easy to do because I forget sometimes too, but it makes such a difference. Is, we live in such an impersonable world. Meaning, like, things are just so, sterile. Yes, even with video, we see videos and everything, but very rarely do we have anything anymore that is tailored directly to us. You know what I mean? Like, we don't ever get anything that says, something like, hey, Anthony, I checked out your work. It just looks fantastic. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. I think you would be perfect fit for this, especially because you did that one thing that I listened to and you did X, Y, Z, and it really kind of fits what we're doing. I mean, yes, it'd be nice if I got more of that, but like that would be a very personable thing to do. So if you flip that around for us, let's say that I'm trying to book more business, which we all are. And, all things being equal, I'm sending in auditions, proposals, emails to clients that probably hundreds and hundreds of other voice actors are doing too. And those voice actors are good, just as good as me, or even sometimes better. How do I stand out? Well, just like we had our one of our sessions in the voiceover conference recently with Scott Brick, who made a really good point about, you got to stand out in the 1 to 3 seconds in the beginning of your auditions. There's also another way to stand out, and that is you being personable yourself. So here's how I would do it. And I strongly recommend everybody gives this a shot. All right. So let me run through it. So let's say, for example, on Upwork, you're working on Upwork and you're trying to get work, and, you go to send a proposal. Someone posts a job that, there's a 15, 30-second voiceover, and it's, for $50, $100, $200, whatever. And you want to send a proposal to be considered for that job. So you can do this a couple ways. Of course, you can go on there, send just a proposal, say, I saw this job. This is my price. I can help out. Sincerely, Anthony, or whatever. Or you can make it personable by going on, looking, trying to find the person's name, trying to, you look at the job that they have posted, and you actually talk about it in the description that you're sending back to them. Okay. In the proposal. So like, for example, if someone's doing an explainer video, and this is what I was talking about earlier with my mentor student, talk about the fact that, you've done explainer videos, you enjoy them, this particular topic, you find it very interesting. Okay. It's something like, make it personable, make it mean something to the actual client that you are reaching out to. Because think about it, it's so funny. They don't do this anymore, which stinks about Fiverr, right? Because we all know, when you heard about Fiverr, they got rid of buyer requests, and they went to this like matching brief, or they do briefs and they match you with these briefs. I can't say for sure. I'm not digging it so far. I think I do miss the buyer requests. I hope that Fiverr gets the brief matching better, because I keep getting asked to, write symphonies and stuff. I don't know if that's, a cosmic joke or something, but I do voiceovers. So, I suppose it's still in that vertical. So at least that's something, but, they're not doing a very good job of actually matching the correct briefs to people yet. So hopefully they figure that out. But anyways, on Fiverr, right, we have this, situation where it was buyer requests, and you could put in a buyer request yourself as a buyer and see, what people propose to you. So like I often say, if you're going to work on Fiverr, Upwork, any of these places, it's a good practice to put in an order yourself for something to see how the whole process works so that you better understand it. So what I would do is I put in an order and buyer request, and it was so interesting because I'd get like 30, 35 different people coming back, proposing to work with me. And here's what was crazy about this, and this is why I'm telling you. Because the people would send back these proposals to me with all sorts of just, for example, first off, horrible grammar, right? They clearly don't write well. 2, misspellings left and right. Things were misspelled all the time. But 3, and I think the biggest thing, is that 99% of the people who would send back proposals to me wouldn't, like, none of them included anything that I talked about in my my brief or my buyer request, my request. Like they didn't talk about, hey, you're looking for XYZ and I actually specialize in this. I really like doing this. And I think what you're doing, I could probably help you because I'm big into this which is what you're doing. Like something personable to actually bring up what I talked about. Now, this is so simple. But if you stop and think about it, how much are we actually doing that? And I'm talking across the board. So the reason why I brought up Fiverr is because that was a quick and easy way to see how it looked on the other end when you were doing buyer requests. And I can tell you the people who actually would say, hey, I read your request. I do XYZ. I think this is great. I really enjoy what you're asking this. I do it. Like that at least made it sound like they read what I said, and I wasn't just, it wasn't a robot on the other end who was sending out thousands of these, right? That it was like, oh, wow, well, I want to try to work with that person. In voiceover, it's interesting because, we have our voices and people can definitely determine, I really like that voice. I really like this voice. But the reality is that there's a multitude of reasons why we work with somebody, and getting in the door, especially on a site like Upwork or even LinkedIn, is really important. And the way you get in the door is it's not your voice. It's how you approach someone and how you build a relationship with them. So, in this particular case for Upwork, because we're talking about Upwork, right? In that proposal, try to find their name. Their name is John. Say, hey, John, I saw this proposal. I love, and maybe it's for explainer videos about a dock, right? Well, a dock somewhere, a shipping dock, and, they're doing an explainer video on this dock to drive more business, more ships. And you're like, I love, I've done a lot of explainers video. I see you talking, this is about a shipping dock. I've actually I've done a few of these before. And, I just love, to do this type of thing. I was an educator in the past, and this really fits into my love. And I know I could help you out with your explainer video. No matter what you say there, the whole point is I've said the guy's name. I've talked about what he's actually doing. All right. And I actually gave a little context about why I'm a good fit for it. Okay. And then I include on Upwork, I would include a couple of YouTube links to videos that had something similar to do. I guess this turned out to be an Upwork tutorial a little bit too. I didn't mean it to be, but it works. And then I put a couple of links to my YouTube videos, that match sort of what the job is that I'm going for. And if I didn't have a specific video for, the type of job, I would just put the closest thing I had. But the point is that I had a huge success rate when it comes to booking work on Upwork because I believe was because of that personal touch. I hardly did any auditions on Upwork. I mean, I rarely ever did an audition. I mean, it was always booked. All the work I was booked on Upwork was from that. Now, I don't personally like to do a lot of work on Upwork because me, I like to do more, put my own stuff out on my own time and have people come to me, as you guys know me and who I am. But, I do respect Upwork and there's a lot of work there. But when I was working on Upwork, that it works crazy and insanely well. And a lot of times we don't think about that. We're just thinking about pumping out numbers. And I've talked about that too, right? Where you've got to put out the numbers. But I think there is a world where we can do both. It does not take you a great deal of time to look real quick, because they actually keep it on the same page as the proposal page when you're on Upwork. You just have to scroll down a little further and it does show you like some of their past jobs. And a lot of times in those past jobs, they will say the person's name and you can find their name there. And then you just read what they're requesting for you to do and they'll tell you what the job is about. You know what I mean? You just make sure you mention that job and what you're trying to do in the description. It works so well and it sets you apart right off the bat. That doesn't even have to do with your voice. Okay. Now this works really, really well on places like LinkedIn too. Now, if you guys are like me, you receive a lot of messages every day, but the messages that I receive are pretty much just like to tantamount to junk mail, because the people who send messages, now mind you, these are, either they're connecting with me, and then I'll connect back with them because it's LinkedIn and I want to connect with people. And then, because you can send a message through the connect, they, I get a message. I never receive, maybe once in a blue moon, every message I always receive on LinkedIn, either trying to sell me something or get me to do something, never ever addresses me and what I do and who I am or what I'm trying, even if no one ever says anything about me being a voice actor. No one ever says anything about me being a voiceover coach. No one ever says, all these people, all they're doing is talking at me, right? They're just talking at me. They're just, regurgitating a script instead of making it personal at all. And I think we need to look at that. When the whole world is doing one thing, we need to do the opposite. All right. That's how you stand out. And I think here the opposite is actually sounding like you care enough to know who it is you're connecting to. And in our case, for example, if you're going on LinkedIn and you're trying to connect to, instructional designers to get maybe e-learning jobs, right? Well, you need to look at the name of the person you're connecting to, what they're about, where are they at, where do they work, what kind of instructional work they're doing. Include that into your connection with them. Okay, include all of that information. Be a part, make a relationship, not just, hi, I'm a voice actor. It's all like me, 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 me. Don't make it all about you. Make it about them, them too. You can make it about both of you. But most everyone makes it just about them. You know what I mean? Look at the emails we get. Look at everything we get. It's always just like they're throwing out some massive net, hoping to catch some fish who's generally just swimming around with their head up their backside. Okay, but that's not the majority of us, right? Well, we're not going to answer an email or do something to someone if it's not tailored directly to us. So if that's the case, and talking about emails, it's the same thing with emails. I used to do when I was first starting out, then I started branching out into reaching out to people instead of just working on ACX. I was trying to reach out to, I started reaching out to independent publishing companies online in hopes that I could get myself listed on their websites, right, as an audiobook narrator in case the people who were publishing books with these independent publishers would want to get an audiobook. So what I would do is I would go through their website, I would read what they were about, and I would send an email, and the email I would send to them had, the most important part of the email to me was the part that I talked about, what I liked about their mission. A lot of these small independent publishers, they have a mission. There's they publish specific types of books, and there's, and I would talk about that and how I really liked their mission. And I did. It's amazing how much stuff we actually have in common with people and organizations if you just look and talk about it. But what happened was I got a lot of work from being connected because these places would then accept me, and they appreciated, me saying those things because they told me they did. And that got me into the door where normally if they because, we all get these emails constantly, nonstop. This is a way that you can separate your business from everybody else. And I think that personal nature is what we are lacking and what we all really want more now than ever. I hope this quick, I say quick, I mean, we're almost at, what time are we? We're almost at 20 minutes. Yeah, we're almost at 20 minutes. That's quick, because usually it's been going longer. But I hope that this session today was helpful and to get you to think about how are you speaking to your potential clients? Okay, are you actually speaking to them or are you just speaking at them? Okay, you actually taking a few extra moments to, personalize something or you just throwing stuff out there, just throwing splat out there, hoping it hits something. Okay. Because if you, again, making it more personal will always win, especially in this way. So, in this, you listen to me. I have always been a big advocate for putting out a lot and having people come to you. But here's the thing, and I've really, it's so funny because I know this, I've known it, but realizing things is so funny, or becoming, maybe realizing something and coming to terms with it. They're two different things, right? So I've really come to terms with the fact that, I'm never going to be able to, well, at least not where I'm currently at. I can't market my business like, a company that has millions of dollars to spend on marketing. Clearly, right? That's evident. But a lot of us market the same way as those businesses, right? But those businesses who market with millions and millions of dollars or whatever, tens of millions of dollars, and they're throwing out commercial after commercial, they're reaching a huge net of people. The idea there is through that, they're going to get some people. But for us, in order for us to get that same sort of reach, we would need that kind of money, which we don't have. So we have to approach it in a much different way. And I think that's why these websites, these freelance websites we're on, helped so many people, even not just voice actors, but freelancers in general, right? Because they leveraged a lot of people. So they leveraged the ability to send out a lot of marketing when you don't have very much money, right? And you get to be on that platform. But for us as individuals, we can actually use it to our advantage of being small by being personable, right? I mean, I think it's a great thing, and I challenge you to implement it into your business, especially here over the holidays, right? Give it a shot. Even when you're talking to someone, always mention something about them, about what they're doing. Try to use their name. You know how different it would make you feel, even if your LinkedIn or someone connects or sends you an email, if it actually is tailored towards you. Now, again, you're not going to know exactly what every particular person wants in their life or what a business, but you can still send personal style emails and messages and proposals based off of the information that's given. And that's my challenge to you. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for listening. As always, I really appreciate it. If you're interested, we're doing, of course, 50% off your first month trying out the Academy, VO's Journey Elite Academy. And we're super excited for you to give it a shot. There's a link below for you to check it out. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's only a couple days away. Today's Monday. We've only got a couple days till Thanksgiving. And then Christmas. It's crazy. We're almost at the end of the year of 2022. So I love you guys so much. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Peace.